Hey, okay, so it's so good to have you here. We're going to be talking about the value ladder, and this is about raising your average order per customer. And that's really important in business strategy. You want to try and spend as little as possible to acquire a customer, but then also get as much as you can out of that customer while adding insane value to that customer. Okay, insane value is really key because that's what keeps the customers coming back and referring you on to other people. But in order to do this, we need a really, really good value ladder. Now, if you haven't watched the video on the clarity wheel, go back and watch that one because that's really important. You need to understand that stuff before you jump into this. But when you go through, we're going to be looking at this. So this is your core value ladder. And this is about each of the different elements that it takes to build up your average order per customer. So you're going to start down at the bottom and you're going to take a customer on a journey all the way through each of these different elements. But the really, really key thing is knowing what that journey is and knowing what those elements look like. Even though you use the strategy and you take customers on that journey from the top to the bottom to the top, we're going to build it from the top to the bottom. So we're going to start with our end goal piece and figure out actually what is the journey you want to take the customer on and what is it that you want to offer that customer. So if you did the clarity wheel, this will be your offer section where you look at actually what is that thing, that transformation, that product, that service, that anything that you want to offer your customer. And then what we're going to think about is how do we move a customer on a journey to get them there. So when you're looking at setting this up, grab a piece of paper, write your end goal at the top, and then think about, as we step through each of these journeys, what are the middle products, so your purple and your pink here, what are your middle products that could get that customer on that journey and to that kind of end goal. Once you've thought about your step-ups, you're then going to think about what is the free thing, the free bit of content that you could use to reel those customers in and actually get them on that buying journey. And then lastly, you're going to think about your brand, your messaging, and your social media. So how does everything that you put out into the world lead a customer to that same point, to that same journey, you know, that value ladder, that journey that takes them on to actually buying from you. So if I give you some examples of these, and I've got a few more examples in the blog that I wrote recently, which I will link to in the description below, so you can go and check them out and you can get some ideas of the individual examples of how some of my clients have used this. But what you've got to think about is your value ladder can be as big or as small as you want. So if you want to go straight from freebie to end goal, that's absolutely fine. If you want to go from freebie to 6 step-up product to end goal, that's absolutely fine as well. There are people who use this model who literally have a £1 product all the way up to something that is like a quarter or half a mil, and that's absolutely fine as well. Like it's whatever you want to make it, but it's thinking about each individual process and then also thinking about how many of these, so your freebie and your step-ups, that you can automate to make them automatic generators of income and clients, because that makes business easy. So what you're going to think about when you're going through this is, say for instance, you want to get your clients to join a program, like an online coaching program or learning series, where they're going to be investing a sizable bit of money to come on a program and have some transformation. Your step down product might be a smaller kind of bite-sized version of one of the first elements of that journey. So it kind of whets people's appetites and is a lesser investment. So it might be, £90 or £49 or, something like that. It's actually like a smallable investment that people can invest in. And then you might step down to a freebie, which is like a quiz or a downloadable PDF or a guide or a checklist or anything along those lines that kind of pulls customers in to going through that process of, actually, this is going to be valuable information for me, so I'm going to give you my email address, for instance, to get this information. And then your social media is going to speak to those people. So in the clarity wheel, you described your ideal customer, those people that just bring you absolute joy to work with. So you are going to go through the process of making sure that this whole value ladder speaks to those people. And it's about looking at, how do you position yourself and your product in that market as a leader and show up and give knowledge and show people what you're all about. So you go through this process, and this can be used for bricks and mortar, it can be used for trade, it can be used for online, it can be used for anything. I have used this with clients across all spectrums. And if you take something like, so one of my clients has got a deli. So if you take a deli, they have built in the freebie is going onto the mailing list, and from doing that you get a 10% discount on your first order from the deli. The next thing is leading into a like hamper sales, and then the last thing is the ability to buy those like now for Christmas already, to order like pre-Christmas. And that's like a perfect example of a value ladder, which is just one part of the business. What you need to remember is that your value ladder isn't your whole business, but it's an element of your business. It's a revenue stream in your business. And if you want to keep things really, really simple, and this is what I suggest you do, you have one of these and that's it. That's like what you do. If you've got a business that actually has 3 or 4 different strands, you need to build one for each of those strands. So there's another company that I am part of that we do web design, app development, and business strategy. And for that one, we have 2 separate value ladders for the web design and for the apps, because actually they're 2 different customers that we're talking to, and the business strategy is just built into both of those value ladders. And this is what you've got to think about, is actually how do you go through this process. Now, another thing to note is that you will have what we call bolt-ons. So actually, when this customer gets to the end of that overall journey and they've had the transformation, they've got the learning, they've done what they need to do, what can we then bolt on to continue to add value for this customer, to continue to make this a life-changing experience for that customer? And this could be something like a membership or a mastermind type group. I heard somebody call it a genius group the other day, which made me really, really smile. It could be something like a resource bank where people can just buy in on a monthly basis and they've got access to new resources on a continuous. It could be something as sort of simple as getting somebody to, the offer to attend like a live event once a year, and starting next year. We're still in 2020 at the moment. But, going through that process of saying, actually, once a year for all of the alumni of the course, there's going to be this live event that they can come to. And they pay, X amount, and it's a weekend, and it's, going in depth in that learning, really holding yourself accountable, going through the journey. And actually, this is what you've got to think about, is how do you take people on this journey? How do you make the leads an automatic generation so that you're not spending time constantly chasing down leads, constantly chasing people to see if they want to work with you? You want people to be coming to you and actually coming into your business without you having to chase. So go through, create your value ladders, and please share them. Like, it will be so amazing to see what you've created. And if you like the content on this channel, please subscribe and like the video. I love to know if there's any strategy topics that would be useful for me to talk about for you, but I will always continue to put out content. And if you want to, you can come over and follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I do quite a lot of work over there as well, and all of the links are in the description below. If not, go and check out my 60-second videos. I've got a whole library of them, and they're all on amazing strategy topics. And if there's any of those that you really like, then drop me a message on that video and I can do a longer version with more detail for you. So it's been amazing. Go and create your value ladder. It's so important for your business, and I will see you guys soon.